share my take, how I see things when it comes to the connection with Genesis and the Bible, and possibly Sasquatch, or something that was very similar to a Sasquatch or Bigfoot. Let's look closely at this goat. Notice how hairy the goat is. Extremely long hair. Very long, coarse hair. What else has hair like that? Well, something kind of close like that. You see the long hair going on. Like Patty had long hair. Or this one. Bad image, sure. They're always blurry. Or these dudes. Or this guy, if it is a Sasquatch. Sure, she looks like one. Now this guy is a Sasquatch. Whatever Sasquatch is. That's alright. So, best candidate for Esau in the Bible. It's not a human being. And we're going to find out. We're going to read this, okay? This is starting with Genesis 25, starting at verse 21. Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. What kind of magic spells he needed to do there? And entreated, huh? What a word. And are this Jacob and this Rebecca, are they meant to be real human beings, or some kind of anthropomorphic idea, a way of humanizing something else, a force, if you will, an energy, a being of some sort. Anyways, regardless of the fact of whatever they meant by this tale, we're going to read it more. So the Lord said unto her, two nations. Now let's think about Arabs and Muslims and Semites. Are they all hairy like a goat? They're kind of hairy, but they're not really hairy like a goat, are they? Let's read more. The two nations are in thy womb. Two manner of people, two different types of people, two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and one people shall be stronger than the other. And don't we know that the one thing that we do know of that existed was Sasquatch, and it's quite self-evident that Sasquatch is much stronger than and is much stronger than us. All right. And the people shall be stronger than the other, and the elders shall serve the younger. I don't know exactly how that turned out. There are legends of First Nations people of interacting with Sasquatch. Maybe that did happen at times. Maybe some way they did. Maybe in earlier times, thousands of years ago, that's exactly what happened. Maybe this is an allegory, metaphor that's been twisted in time to more humanize it, to be more make it appear like it's about humans, when really there were a distant memory of interacting with these beings. And when her days were to be delivered and were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, all over. That means to me, not just its head, not just parts of its body, but its whole body was hairy like a garment. What has the hair? What's hairy like a garment? A goat and a Sasquatch, right? And they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, symbolically, right? The heel grabber, like somebody, took over the reins, if you will. His name was Jacob, and And Isaac was 80 old when she bare them. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. Who lives in tents? And we do. And who lives out in the fields, out in the wilderness, out in the world? Sasquatch. Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison. But Rebekah loved Jacob. So who were these real Isaacs and these Jacob and Rebekah? And what's up with this woman bearing two different types of human beings? One that's extremely hairy, covered all in hair like a hairy garment, an extreme hunter, a cunning hunter, and one that lived out in the fields, while we live in our tents. Modern day today tents would be what? Our homes. Our buildings that we call homes. And Jacob sawed pottage, and Esau came from the field, the great hunter, by the way, who couldn't figure out how to hunt something and starving, right? If anyone believes that. And he was faint. So many contradictions in the book. It contradictions in the story itself. Just because it's a lie. Twisting the truth, right? When you lie, you end up having a bunch of contradictions. It's an excellent form of mind control, by the way. The use of contradictions. The Esau said to Jacob, "Feed me, I pray thee, with the same red pottage. For I am faint, therefore was his name called Edom." So he was faint, there, it's called Edom. Derogative term, right? Maybe? Or maybe it means something else. And Jacob said, "Sell me this day thy birthright." Now, how the hell is he going to do that? They're just running around in the woods anyways. How do you sell your birthright? And Esau said, "Behold, I am at the point to die. What profit shall this birthright do to me?" Right, and if you're a Sasquatch, and you're something that lives in the wilderness, that lives in harmony with the creation, what the hell would you ever need a birthright in the first place? But if you're a cunning heel grabber, a deceiver, like a lot of human beings are, as anybody who spends enough time here knows, from politicians to priests and pastors, and on it goes. A lot of corrupted scientists. People will pretty much sell you out. Will throw you on a bus for their pottage, their red pottage. And Jacob said, "Swear to me this day." He swore unto him, and he sold his birthright to Jacob. Sure, he did. And Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage and lentils. Like here you go. It's for a perfect example of what we're going through, right? Us, members of the slave class, the worker bees. What do we get? Basically the same thing, right? Bread and circus, lentils. We'll give you just enough to survive. That's how, he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way, and Esau despised his birthright. Oh, that's so terrible. Then we go to chapter 27 of Genesis. Even more evidence that this Esau was more like a Bigfoot than a human being. Now, there's many traditions throughout the world. I'm reading it right now on Passport to Begonia. And, geez, the number of stories of hairy people throughout the world is quite interesting, don't you think? Short people, hairy people, that kind of stuff. But there's one that we know for sure that was big and stronger than the rest of us, as human beings, us Homo sapiens, and that is this thing called Bigfoot. And there's all sorts of scientific terminology if you want to adopt it. What the hell? In the end of the day, we're still guessing, which is part of the problem here, isn't it? Anyways, it came to pass that when Isaac was old, his eyes were dim, but not blind, just means dim, and so that he could not see what? He couldn't see his own children? I guess he was blind then. He called Esau his eldest son, and said to him, "My son," he said unto him, "Behold, here I am. So he's hearing his voice, the son's voice. He knows his son for a lifetime, and he's about to be tricked. And if anyone believes this story, I mean, it's ridiculous. But there's a subtle hint in all this. This is what we're talking about. And he said, behold, I am old. I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver and thy bow, and go out into fields, and take me some venison, and make me savory meats, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat. Now remember, Isaac really dug Esau, whereas Rebekah, she was obsessed with Jacob, the hairless dude, a dude like us. All right, and I'll make me savory meat such as I love, and bring it to me, some kind of sacrifice or blessing or offering to their God, his God, Isaac, or something like that. It's a deity, an entity, whatever, that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebekah, being the nasty bitch that she was, heard when Isaac spoke to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison and to bring it. Now Rebekah spake unto Jacob, the heel grabber, the one who is fair-skinned and smooth, right? The one who came after Esau, the Bigfoot, like something was genetically modified with us, and saying, behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, bring me venison, make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless thee before the Lord before my death. Now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee, and go now to the flocks, and fetch me from thence 2 kids of goats, that I may make savory meat for thy father, such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man. And we heard he's all covered like a hairy garment, like a Bigfoot. Not like a Homo sapien, not like us, like a Bigfoot. My father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver, which he was, which we are, and there's plenty, all the number of things that we do to each other, the deceptive nature that this one thing about human beings that we have that other creatures don't. We lie constantly. It takes a lot of work not to lie, right? He shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. So his dad would bring a curse upon him for deceiving him, right? It's like this is a real family network, or it could be. I mean, I don't know how dysfunctional families are. Anyways, his mother said to them, unto me be thy curse, my son, only obey my voice, go fetch me them. So the curse would be on her, huh? He went and fetched and brought them to his mother, and his mother made savory meat such as his father loved. And Rebekah took a goodly remnant of his eldest son Esau, which were in her house, with her in the house. So she had some of Esau's clothing, right? And she decided to put it on Jacob, and his younger son, her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids' goats upon his hands and upon the smooth of his neck. Remember what ghost hair looks like, folks. And remember, Esau was covered from head to toe in it. She gave the savory meat and the bread, which she had prepared, into the hand of her son Jacob. And because she was a witch and a bitch. And I'm saying that I'm not knocking people who are actually women who are witches. I'm just saying in a derogative way, right? Because she was nasty. She was deceiving her own husband. And he came unto his father and said, "My father," he said, "here I am. Who art thou, my son?" And like he didn't know. I thought he was blind. I didn't say anything about being deaf. Like he wouldn't know the difference between his two sons' voices? I doubt that. And Jacob said unto his father, "I am Esau, thy firstborn." That nation, that group of people that came before the other group of people. "I have done according to as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat my venison, that thy soul may bless me." So we got to think about thyself, right, all the time. Isaac said unto his son, "How is it thou hast found it so quickly, my son?" Like, wait a minute, he just said that he was blind. He didn't say he was going senile and didn't know how to hear, or couldn't hear, had hard of hearing. He says going blind. "My son," he said, "because the Lord thy God brought it to me." Oh, that makes all the sense in the world then. Yeah, there you go. And apparently the Lord God also changed your voice. "And I said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not." Because apparently he knew, had a lot of experience with Jacob. You know what I mean? "And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau." Oh, that must be it. Oh, this is just this story is so stupid. "And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy." Because his hands were hairy. His hands were hairy, people. Not his wrists, not his arms. His hands were hairy. Like a goat. "And his brother Esau's hands, and he blessed him." And he said, "Well, geez, well, at least his hands are hairy, but he somehow can tranquilicus, or he's one of those voice comedians, or he knows how to mimic other people's voices, huh?" Which, by the way, there's been reports of something like that actually happened before in the woods. "And he said, Art thou my very son Esau?" And he said, "I am." God allow your dad. And he said, "Bring it near to me, because I can't share the blessings. I got to keep it all to myself, right? "And I will eat my son's venison, and my soul will bless thee." And he brought it near to him, and he did eat it, and he brought him wine and drinks. He must have come drunk, huh? "And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son." Ew. I can imagine, it must have, when he kissed him, must have seemed just like a Bigfoot, huh? "And he came near and kissed him, and smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See the smell of my son as the smell of the field, which the Lord hath blessed. And therefore God give thee the dew of heaven, and the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine." As if they actually had corn back then, but who the hell knows? "Let people serve thee, nations bow down to thee." So let people serve thee, thinking that he's dealing with something that's not from another nation, a different type of person, a different type of human, a being as such, something similar to a human, something humanoid-like. "Let thy mother's son bow down to thee, and cursed be every one that curses thee, and blessed be he that blesses thee. Now, I'm not saying this is a real story, okay? But there is a story behind this, right? A real story. And that is us, human beings, Homo sapiens, in our interaction with something that we know as Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Kitchisseve, yeah, that kind of thing. And it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob was scarce gone out of the presence of Isaac his father, and that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also had many made savory meat, and brought to his father, and said to his father, let my father arise and eat his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac's father said to him, Who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, your firstborn Esau. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me? I have eaten all before thou camest, and blessed him, yea, he shall be blessed. Then Esau heard the words of his father, and cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry. Have you ever heard a Bigfoot scream, yell? Exceedingly bitter cry. At times sounds extremely angry, like he's in anguish. And said to his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessings. He said, Is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. He said, Hast thou not did I miss him? Hast thou not, where's 36? Okay. A blessing for me. And Isaac answered and said unto him, unto Esau, Blessed, behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all thy brethren have I given unto him as servants, and the corn and wine I have sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also. Oh, my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept, like a Bigfoot does. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of the heaven from above. And thy sword, whatever that may be, shall, of course we don't even use swords today, and no one's, we've heard rumors and seen images of possibly Bigfoot using clubs and logs. Who knows? And thy sword by thy sword shall thou live, and shall serve thy brother. And it came to pass that when thou shalt have dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from thy neck. So there, he's going to, at some point, the yoke of Jacob, the smooth-skinned, not very hairy dude, things are going to flip on us, is what it's trying to say. Now, if it's true or not, it's another thing. And by the sword thou shalt live, and thou shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass that when thou shalt have dominion, that thou shalt break the yoke from thy neck. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith the father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, The days of mourning for my father are at hand, and then I will slay my brother Jacob. And these words of Esau, his elder brother, were told to Rebekah, because she's a snitch and a two-faced lying monster, and said and called to Jacob your younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort him, purposing to kill thee. Therefore, my son, obey my voice, arise and flee thou to Laban, my brother, to Haran. Blah, 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 blah. But the biggest thing is, in all this, is this bizarre story that has so many contradictions and doesn't make any sense at all if anybody just thinks. It just thinks. It questions stuff. What is hairy like a goat? And it ain't us. And it isn't the Arabs. It isn't the Semites. It isn't any, Homo sapien today. Now, what it was, could I be wrong about it being Bigfoot? Sure, but the best candidate for Esau in the Bible that I can tell is a Bigfoot. We know, those of us who encounters know that it exists. Whether in the physical, when it appears in the physical form, or in the spiritual. They either did exist or still exist. And human beings have a habit of wiping out anything that threatens them. And I'm sure that that's exactly what we did to the hairy people. So that's something to think about, isn't it? Now, when it comes to Genesis 6, we have to revisit that. I strongly disagree with people like Scott Carpenter, who I've interviewed a couple times and known in the past. And hopefully he's at a better place now. But his story about Genesis 6 and the giants, and they're talking about Bigfoot, and it was part of the Nephilim, there's nothing to that. He twisted that scripture so bad, like most Christians do. Now, I might be wrong about what I'm saying, but you tell me something. What other entity, what other being, what other living soul, past or present, that's like a human being, as hairy as a goat? Well, the only thing we know of that's close to that, is what? A Sasquatch. There we go. I rest my case. Judge and jury, you decide.
You're going to try, go all the way. Otherwise, don't even start. If you're going to try, go all the way. This could mean losing girlfriends, wives, relatives, jobs, and maybe your mind.
Don't know, you should take it slow. Are you searching?